I am now going to be introducing Faisal Mohammad to everyone. Faisal is coming online here in just a minute. As I said before, he is the Staff Technical Support Engineer for Palo Alto Networks. And Faisal, I'm going to go ahead and hand everything over to you.
Thank you, Charles. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the session, day 2. Let me share my screen. Okay. Charles, can you see my screen?
Waiting for it to load.
Yes.
And we are good with the day 2 agenda. All yours.
Okay. So just to do a recap of yesterday's session. Yesterday's session was an introduction into Prisma SD-WAN. We discussed about the cloud controller, which is the source of truth for all configuration. We have ION devices on the branch side, which synchronizes with the cloud controller for all the config. The cloud controller is the source of truth. We discussed about the various components of Prisma SD-WAN, such as the interfaces types, the internet circuits, the MPLS circuit, the LAN interface, the different routing protocols supported on Prisma SD-WAN branch side, and we run through the Strata Cloud Manager UI interface from which we manage the Prisma SD-WAN infrastructure. So we had an introduction into all these components which work together. And today, what we're going to see is how do you do troubleshooting with Prisma SD-WAN? What are the tools available at you? We'll be combining what all things we saw today, all the tools, all the UI we discussed yesterday. We're going to use them to apply them for troubleshooting and fix problems in Prisma SD-WAN for your branch sites. Again, this is an introduction course. Troubleshooting itself is a vast domain. We will be looking at the essential tools which is required to perform troubleshooting. So today's session, we have the device toolkit, which is the CLI UI, CLI interface with which we can fire the commands on the Prisma SD-WAN ION box. We have the Strata Cloud Manager UI, which has the dashboard, activity, monitor, incident and alerts, flow browser. How do you do an RMA, and what is required in terms of a support ticket when you open an RMA support ticket to share with the tag, so that you have all the information required to quickly get the replacement done. And finally, demo. So today what I'll do is I will start with the demo. Since everybody's just joined in, we'll start with the demo. We will see how to use the knowledge we gained yesterday to combine these tools and use them in harmony. Like how does the CLI work, how does the UI work, how does the monitoring work, like how to combine these tools and use it. And then after that, we will go through this slide deck. You will have this slide deck with you. You can anytime go and refer to it. It's self-explanatory. So we will start with a live demo and see how to use this platform, the Prisma SD-WAN platform, from troubleshooting perspective. Okay. So yesterday we had, you can see my screen, Charles. Are you able to see?
Yes, you're good. Yeah.
If the font is good.
Yeah.
Everything's good. Okay. So when you log into Prisma SD-WAN Strata Cloud Manager portal, this is where you land into. One of the most important, very good place to start looking into your infrastructure is workflow devices. So this is like a one page where all your ION devices, whether it's a data center or a branch, get listed down here. You can navigate from this menu. You can see up to 100 devices for infrastructures that are very large. And then you have a lot of information, valuable information available. You can determine your ION name, your device name, what version, what device it is, if it's a hardware or a virtual device, what version of software is running, when was the last activity, when the device was last connected to the controller, what is the state of the device, it's assigned, you can see it's claimed, and when you go to unclaimed, you'll see the device is unclaimed. And then you would also see what is the redundancy, whether it has an HA, configured as a HA. Now, one of the most important things over here is to just bring your mouse over the stick box. It tells you whether it's online or offline and when it was last connected. You would notice that sometimes certain information is not available. It is dependent on the software version. So if you go here, you would see that you have the last reboot reason, but on a 5.6, you don't have it. So this is very useful to understand quickly what's going on. So let's say, for example, when I type SEC and enter, I do see that I can filter out based on the device name. I can read at what is going on in the box, what version is running, and whether it's online. And the second most important thing over here is to upgrade the device. So when you click on here, you have the screen, the UI available to you. The this particular landing, this particular page for devices will provide you the live status of the upgrade, whether it is downloading or rebooting, whether it's offline because it's rebooting, the image is getting verified. All can be viewed from this device's page when you perform this action. So here you can pick your software release. You can choose to download only, or you can upgrade. This is very handy when you have a limited maintenance window where you need to download and upgrade. You can schedule it to download in advance and then perform the upgrade whenever it's required. So in that way, you save the trouble of pulling the image to the box due to various connectivity issues, and then you have it available readily on the box to deploy it. So this is one, upgrading a single box. We have a new feature, which is to upgrade bulk number of devices. When you click on the bulk software upgrade, you can pick up a version. You can then select the devices you want to upgrade, and then follow the same steps which we had in the previous menu. So again, to just summarize, workflow devices is a great place to understand what's going on in your ION devices, whether they are online, what version of software they are running, what's the serial number, and then perform upgrade-related activities. And finally, the most important part, which we may not know, is this action menu. So let's say, for example, if I would like to remotely connect, usually the way we go to perform this action is to go to the Prisma SD-WAN workflow, run sites, configuration, and do the remote SSH. We can also perform that activity from here. So we can go and click on remote access. It will try to connect. Sorry for that. My page is loading.
The fun of a live demo. We always have it happen. No worries.
No problem. So let's click on here and let's go back to try to remote access. Then we see it. You would notice that it takes over the entire screen that is shown here. Okay. So if you want to go back to the previous screen, you can click on this and it will open in a new tab so that you get back the menu you have here, and you can perform the activity of remote login and fire the commands inside the shell from here. Okay, so that's one of the ways to connect to the device. So the next one is we go to workflow. We go to workflow Prisma SD-WAN branch sites, and then over here we pick up a branch, and then we go to configuration. So configuration and site summary is a great way to understand what's happening in the network, what's happening with a specific branch site. So you might be wondering why I'm here in the configuration. It's not only configuration. We also, as we discussed yesterday, we can determine the interface status, whether they are connected, whether they're properly configured based on the icon of the port. So similarly, we have many things over here available in this portal, and I will explain to you how to use it. So if you have a problem on a branch site, best place to start is the site summary and configuration. So in the configuration, you have something called physical 2 of 2, which indicates that both the internet circuits are connected. Now, if you click on this in this 2 of 2, you get the list of the interfaces you have, which is the ISP1 and ISP2. So when you click on ISP1, you have a page that gets loaded up for bandwidth use. I do not have much activity in these boxes, so there's not much going on there. You have a bandwidth capacity. So this is this particular option helps you understand what is the ingress and egress capacity of the circuit. So if you see the unit of scale is in gigabits per second. So this is, if it is 0.2, it's almost 200 meg. And then 130 or 0.1309 is 130 meg. So that is the capacity of the circuit. And while you are here, you can go to the other circuit, which is ISP2, and understand like what is the inbound and outbound real-time capacity of this circuit. Okay. And then we have an option called view activity. Over here, if you click on network, it will take you into the activity window, so that now the advantage over here is the best part of this is it automatically applies the filter for the branch. So you don't need to go and then pick up which branch site you want and then struggle to determine, So when you are inside a Prisma SD-WAN branch site, when you go to the physical circuits, when you pick up a circuit, you want to see the activity, you click on the activity, it will straight bring you to the monitor activity tab and then give you the statistics for you. And then further, you can timestamps and see the data you like to see and understand what's going on with your circuit. Okay, so let me go back to workflow, branch sites, SASE branch to the 404 is of Secure Fabric. I think we touched base yesterday. It's under the overlay configuration. These are Secure Fabric VPNs built between the branch and the data center. You see the circuit name on which the VPN is built. You click on it. You can determine over here when you edit it, what is the source, what's the target, what is the status, whether it's active or inactive. The backup VPNs are inactive, and then port 1 on the data center, port 1 on the branch. Okay, this is the keep alive time. This wealth of information is available for you. So it's good to know when you're troubleshooting a specific VPN from the UI what exactly is going on. The next one is the standard VPN. So when you go back to the configuration page, you have the standard VPN available for you. You can click on it, and then you can understand, you can see this is the endpoint to which it's connected, the VPN is active, and this is a shortcut for you to go inside the interface and read more about this VPN with Prisma Access. Okay, so this is about the site, the interfaces, the logical as well as physical, how to read it, how to use it from the configuration. The next one is this one, the status, which we saw previously from the devices page. We get the status of the device connectivity to the controller, whether it's online, offline, when it got disconnected the last time, and depending on the version, you will have more information available in this pop-up. And then next one is site summary. So those who are familiar with the legacy portal, we go to a page called activity link quality monitoring, so LQM. So that particular menu has been shifted towards the branch site in the Strata Cloud Manager. So at any given time, you can determine the health, site connectivity health from this particular page. So you can what I'm showing you is I don't have much data in this UI because it's just a lab. When you're using your Prisma SD-WAN portal, you can use these pages, to determine how good or how bad the circuit is. These are all logical interfaces which I have built to show you in this demo. Okay, so this is the first internet circuit. What it shows you here is there are four overlays built on top of it. When I click on this, I would see that this is the circuit to ISP1 and ISP1, and here this is the direction, packet loss, jitter, latency, and the link mask score. So if you click on it, this one further, and the path connectivity and health, you can see that what is going on here. You might be wondering, such a low score, how I'm achieving it. These devices are directly connected in the same lab port, so they are just adjacent to each other. You're not going through any WAN circuits. That's why the score is fantastic. Okay, so this is the link quality monitoring. You determine the latency, packet loss, jitter, and the MOS score for the link quality monitoring. So you have the site health score, you have the circuit connectivity and health, then you have the device. The device has 5 out of 7 interfaces up. This is a software release it's running in, and this is the device name. Again, this menu is limited to this particular branch. You can see the new flows, concurrent flows, TCP connection stats, and then all the apps which are visible in the app fabric, the incidents happening on the device. And this one is a good one. So when you click again, view all site incidents for this particular site, it will again apply the filter for you. And then it will show you what incidents are going on. So let's show the resolved incidents, because all the incidents have been resolved. When you click on this incident, for example, this is the timestamp of the incident. It always matches your local time zone through which you're connected to the Strata Cloud Manager. It gives you the title of the incident, which is like a brief description of what's going on, the impacted object, which is the ion as well as the branch. If you have two ions on the branch in HA, it will be helpful to know which box is creating this, generating this alarm, what is the severity of this alarm, what is the correlation ID, and the age of the alarm, and it's been acknowledged because it has been resolved by itself. So when you click on this, you would get the incident details. So this UI has a lot of information over here. So over here, you can, the impacted objects is the most critical one. Suppose if you have 10 BGP peers connected to your branch site, so you will know that this is the interface ID on which the peer was connected to. This is the element. This is the site, and then this is the fault code for that alarm. What is and some remediation playbook where you can do a general troubleshooting. Okay, so then let's say, for example, you're curious to know how will I mean where exactly this incident was generated. So if you click on this incident ID, it will take you straight to the interface where it happened. So incidents. Now, why I'm showing you this demo is for you to understand that don't use these tools in silos. Okay, so what you need to do is to combine these tools. Like how do I use the incident alert to go and navigate and determine which interface is causing the problem, and then how do I use the configuration interface to go to the site summary for the branch site to go and see what incident is happening. So you can combine these tools together and get a wealth of information from the UI. Even though the traditional network engineers prefers to go to CLI, Prisma SD-WAN Strata Cloud Manager UI is a great tool to do troubleshooting. We can determine majority of the issues from this platform. It's more like a car dashboard. When you're driving a car, you have a dashboard. Similarly, you have, this is kind of your eyes into what's going on into your network. It gives you all the details. You just need, it's sometimes overwhelming. You need to know what you're looking for, and then you can find what you want, and then you can use that to determine what's causing it. Is there a circuit clog? Is there a genuine problem in my WAN connectivity, or is just the box which is causing the problem? Why are the VPNs not coming up? When did it go down? When did this problem started? All these questions you need to put up, and then look into these tools in the Strata Cloud Manager platform, and then you will be able to find hints and pointers towards the real problem, with which you will have you'll be in a better state when you approach the stack for help, to say that this is what's going on in my network and I need to know why it's going on. Okay, so this is the configuration. And then we have now that we covered the configuration menu over here. We saw the devices. We have the other menu over here for configuring the HA. I don't have an HA over here in this demo, but you will be able to manage your HA and HA related events from here. Next is the configuration. When you go to the configuration, the devices, you have the interfaces. So we just touch base on the UI element of this particular panel, which helps you identify whether the interface is connected or not connected, it's admin up or admin down, and then whether the configuration is complete or not. So this is a single image of the box, which gives you what's going on with the interfaces. Now over here, if you notice, you have some filters. So let's say you have a big box. So you have a 9200 with 20 plus ports. You may not find it comfortable to navigate. So what you can do is you can use these filters. We have filters for internet, private, LAN, HA, control port. So let's say, for example, when I click on LAN, I would be able to see the ports which are designated as LAN. And then if you notice, it will give you the basic information over here. And when you click on it, it will expand it with the configuration. And depending on the platform, whether it's a Gen 1 Ion or Virtual Ion or a Gen 2 Ion, this UI will be different. So just to keep a note of it. And let's say you want to go back to the previous menu, you just close on it, and you're back to the interfaces page. You then again apply the filter, and then you have this option over here. So this is very, very useful. So if you click on the status over here, it tells you this is the interface ID. It is an internal reference to this interface, the MAC address of the interface, the device, the operational state, whether it's up or down, and then the configuration date, the state change, port is connected, yes or no, and then the IP address for it. And then over here, you can determine any layer 1 errors, physical errors from here, over here. So this is a very useful, very useful menu for you to determine whether the device is working or not. And then when you click on view activity, so again, so this is a different menu. In order to come over here, you need to go to monitor, you need to go to Ion devices, you need to pick up the Ion and then apply the interface. So when you click on the status of the interface and go and click on activity, it applies those filters for you. It goes you into this UI element so that you can quickly see what's going on with this interface. So this is the interface bandwidth, and this is what is going on. There's not much activity, but I just want to show you how to reach to this page from your interface's status. Okay, so now this is the workflow devices again. Okay. So this particular status menu, which we just saw over here, we can get from here also. This is another way. So here you have the interface ID, the same content available in a different way, different format for you. And then you can go to statistics and see the layer 1 errors and carrier errors and frame drops, etc. Okay. Another useful component over here is to admin up or down the interface. So if you want to do the admin up and down, you can do from here. You can click this, it will admin down the interface will go down, the admin status is down. And when you click on the status, you would be able to so you go here and then just click on this. So over here you see operational status down, admin down, and then when did this activity happen? 9:31 my local time. And again, if you want admin up, you can do it from this UI also, this menu also, and then save the standard VPN. Okay. So this is all about managing your interfaces using this Startup Cloud Manager page to admin up and admin down the interfaces, and then to see the statistics, status, and then go into the monitoring of this particular interface from the monitor page. Okay. Next is the routing. From the routing, we have again we have a status over here that helps you understand whether the interface is connected or not connected. Because just now I did bring up the interface, it would take some time to come up. And here this particular indicator tells you that the port is, the peering is down. And once the interface comes up, once the VPN is established, the BGP would come up. Okay. It will take some time for it to come up. Okay, so this is from the branch site itself. From the site summary, we saw the LQM as well as the site summary, site health overview. We can determine the link quality, the MOSCO, the jitter, the packet loss. All this information is inside this particular interface. So when you click on the interface, you see it's physically up. There are 3 tunnels, and this is the circuit category, and this is the port connectivity and health, and then when you click on it, it will expand it and give you all the LQM statistics for this particular interface. Okay, now once we are done with this monitor, what I would like to show you is the CLI. So in order to log into the CLI, we could log in from the devices page, we can log in from the remote SSH, or we can do an SSH into the box. Okay, so when you click here and click remote access, I'll get a pop-up. This is the traditional way of logging in, um, and you can do it from the browser itself. Once the screen loads in, you will be able to log in with your credentials. I'll cover the credentials in the slide deck, how you create a user, how to grant him permission, and give him the role to log into the box. Okay, so the first command, I'm not going to cover all the commands in CLI. I have included in the slide the reference to the CLI admin guide, which is a very good document, which has all the commands and all the options for these commands and examples for you to refer to. But here we'll touch base on the essential commands required for day-to-day troubleshooting of Prisma SD-WAN. So here, the first command, I think this is the first command I learned. The most useful command in the Prisma SD-WAN platform is dump overview. So it's a single command which gives you a snapshot of what this box is all about. So here, if you see, this is the first information available to you, which is a software release, the model of the device. What is the uptime? So this is very essential to know how long this box is up. If it had a recent reboot. Then we have the device ID, we have the name of the device. What this is the internal reference, sometimes required for doing a low-level troubleshooting. The element ID, the site ID, the site name, the tenant ID. So what is your Prisma SD-WAN tenant ID? Which region it is connected to, whether it's connected to the controller or not, and what are the stats and flows to which it's connected, whether it's up or down, the certificates which have been installed during the onboarding of this box, the operational interface. So if you don't see an interface listed out here, for example, when you go here and go to an interface, go to a LAN interface, and let's say we admin down this interface. Okay, so immediately you will see this particular interface would cease to. Okay, now what has happened is, since the device was connected to the controller through this interface, I had lost the connectivity to the box. So I need to again reconnect to it. This happens sometimes, so you need to be cognizant about when you admin down and up the interface from the UI. Sometimes you might lose access to the box. Yeah. So this is a console access to the box. So let me log in into the console, and I will show you what's going on there. Okay. So here, if you see, the port number 2 is still not up. It's going to come up, and it would take some time for the port to come up. When the port comes up, it will get listed here. Only the operational interfaces are available here. Now, if you want to see what is the status of this particular interface, for example, the config for this interface. So dump interface config 1. So this is what has been applied on this interface. It's a DHCP interface. It is a public interface. It has this bandwidth configured on the interface for upload and download, and then this is the MTU of the interface. And now if you need to determine the IP assigned to this interface, you can use this command status 1. It will give you the MAC address, the interface ID, the IP address, the gateway, the default gateway for this particular interface. So this is a very useful command to know what exactly is happening on the interface. So if I put for this 2, this particular interface, which I recently brought it down, the state is still down, and then it has the state has changed 1 minute back. Okay, so over here, when I go to the UI, it's still applying the config. It's a bit slow. Okay, so that's the reason why it's not yet up. So let me refresh this screen. But since I have the console access to the box, I'm able to I'm able to determine what is going on with this config. So if I need to bring this interface from the CLI, I can use this command enable port number, enable equal to true. So then if I see the status of this, immediately it comes up. And you can compare the two outputs. Over here, the interface is down, over here the interface is up, and immediately it got an IP address. So now that this particular page is still loading, I think the config was not pushed, due to which the status did not reflect the up state. Okay, apologies for that. I think it's a bit slow today for me to connect from the UI. Yeah. So this is the dump overview. As I said, very useful command. Now you see the port is also available here. So if you see an operational interface not listed down here in dump overview, that means the interface is not up. You can use this command to understand what's the status and why and when did it went down, and then if you have access to the console, you can bring it up, or the right way to do it is through the UI. So here it's admin up now, or here, so it's reflecting the right config in the CLI also. So this is the console UI, and if you want, if you use this, you can. I mean, things still loading here. So, so console is another way to interact with the box from the console. The next one is the dump controller status. So this gives you these four particular connections. MRL is for the device config, flows and stats and logs are for the logs and the statistics status. All are established, all are connected. A very useful command to know whether the box is working or connected or not. Okay, and now we have the prompt here. Okay, so this is the web SSH, and that one is the other one is the console access. Now from this interface, now what I will do is I will bring down the standard VPN. Before I bring down, I would try to show you how you see the live logs. So when you put debug logs follow, right, you get all these different logs available. And in the admin guide, it explains to you what each of these processes function and how to, I mean, what exactly they perform. So in order to determine the messages for the logs related to standard VPN, we have something called Tunnel Manager and Probe. So when you run this together, you will get a combination of the logs from these two processes. And then when you admin down and admin up this particular standard VPN, let's say admin down, immediately, if you go down here, you would see the Tunnel Manager says the interface went down, the state is down, this is the service link, and this is an event generated for the tunnel up, and it's showing a clearly extended state as admin down. So over here, if you notice, this particular debugging of the live logs shows you both the tunnel manager as well as the probe log. So you have simultaneously you can see both the logs from these two different processes. You don't need to run two different SSH and monitor two different shells, for the logs. The next one is, let's say, when you bring it up, let's bring it up this interface and then click OK. And then you can see that immediately it will reflect to you what's going on. It will say that, if you see here, there's a small tick box here, status change tick box. And now interface state is still down, current down, and then okay. And then once the VPN comes out, down here, if you see here, they set the service link state up. So here's where the tunnel has come up in the extended state. So this is very useful for doing live troubleshooting, and best to do it with a console. Sometimes you might not have access to the box, and then you can. This is live monitoring of the log. So to see, for example, the historical logs, follow is for the live logs. If you can go to, if you put dump, right, and then you can grep, you can type it with grep, and then you can define a specific timestamp. You can copy this. So it will show you all the logs which have this timestamp. So follow and tail is for seeing the live logs. You can combine the processes, and then you can use the date and timestamp to filter the logs, historical logs. So what you need to remember is this box has a limited set of logs. It gets rolled over because it has a limitation in terms of how much it can withhold, depending on the activity on the site. But what's the best part of the Prisma SD-WAN solution is all these logs are synchronized with your portal. The controller has, you can go to the incident and alert and then go and view the information you need to by running a historical view on a specific timestamp. So this is for live debugging, very useful. And then you can use the admin guide to determine which processes you are interested. Some of the processes are, if you look at here, you will see VPN. VPN is very common. MRL agent is for connectivity, and you can combine these processes and then view what's going on in the network. Okay, so another thing is very important one is like the grep key, which I just showed you for running the filters. When you run dump overview, you want to just know what is the uptime of the box, right? You don't need all this information. So you can click dump overview, you can grep, you can type in uptime, and then it will immediately give you the uptime. So it's a very useful to know these filters so that you can extract the information you need very quickly. Okay. Dump standing alarms is another useful command. So there are no pending alarms which needs to be sent or which are available for this particular branch site. Okay, so then when you do a troubleshooting traditionally on a network, you would like to see what's going on in terms of physical connectivity, what's going on with the layer 2, what's going on with the layer 3, and what's going on with your final destination where you like to connect to. So all these things we can navigate through the CLI. So first I would say like dump interface config, which we just saw, gives you the config applied on the port, and then dump interface status will give you the health of the interface, whether it's connected, physically connected or not, logically admin up or down, and then what we can do is we can go and see inspect system arc interface equal to 1. So we are learning MAC addresses. What's most important is learning the MAC address of the gateway. If we don't learn the MAC address of the gateway, we don't have connectivity to the circuit or through the interface. All right, so this is very useful. And then what we can do is we can use the ping tool to do some test and see whether we can reach the gateway. So we are able to connect to the gateway. We're seeing the ping response coming out. Let's say you want to run a ping with for n number of packets, right? So you can pass the argument. You can send 10 packets simultaneously. It will wait for 10 packets and it will stop automatically, not just 4 packets, the default 4 or 5 packets. And it will give you a summary of the latency, minimum, max, and average. Okay. The next one is to ping a destination through this interface. Let's say we try to ping 8.8.8 and see whether we can connect to it. So we can connect to it. So if you look at this whole sequence of troubleshooting commands we have at our in Prisma SD-WAN device toolkit, you can determine the config, you can determine the status, you can determine whether the layer 2 ARP messages are learned, whether we can ping to the gateway, we can ping a destination or the destination in the internet. Now, further to this, we can also do some layer 4 troubleshooting. So there's a command called TCP ping 1, and then let's say I just try to go for locator.cgmx.net and I give the port number. So it says that I can connect to this external destination through this interface at port 443. So this is very useful. So you can even do a layer 4 troubleshooting through this device toolkit. So let's say you want to see some layer 7 communication through CLI. So you are limited by what's going on the branch side. It's quite remote, and you're using the web toolkit to understand the true health of the interface. So you can use the curl command on the interface, and then you can type www.google.com. So it will fetch the interface. So you know that this particular interface is truly healthy. It has all the 7 layers of OSI functioning. You can connect to the application, you can connect to the port, you can connect to the layer 3 through ICMP. You have verified the connectivity, you can check the ARP information, and you can also see the physical status of the interface. So this is how you use these commands in combination, to understand whether the port is having a problem or not. So I hope this is quite useful for you, and you can use these commands, while you are in a situation where you need to troubleshoot. The next one is we saw how we connected through the web toolkit. We saw how we go into the uh, console. So all these commands can be applied through any interface. So web toolkit and the console. We can also SSH into the box. So I have a box here, which is connected on the LAN side. So if I ping 172.19.245.1, I can ping, I can SSH from my client machine, and I'm inside the box. So this is your LAN connectivity. Let's say your device and you don't have access to Strata Cloud Manager. You have a local admin on site. He wants to connect to the box. If you create a credential for him, he can go and log in. And when you can fire the same commands, and it's the same thing. So you can exit out. So this is SSH, traditional SSH to connect to the ION device, and the other one is the console, the regular console, to which you can connect, and the remote SSH from the Strata Cloud Manager UI. Now, in terms of a situation where you are troubleshooting and you need to gather information, one great command available in the Prisma SD-WAN is dump support. So this is the command. So if you type this command, it will all the commands in Prisma SD-WAN device toolkit have tab completion. So if you don't know, you don't need to worry. You can just tab and then complete it. File is equal to you can give any file name. Anyway, going an ongoing situation, and you need to quickly collect information. This is a very useful command to fire if you have access to the box. This will help us take a quick snapshot of what's going on. It's like a tech support file in PanOS. So it's trying to gather all the information. It is generating the file, and then once it's complete, you can put file view, and then you can see what does this command say. So another great command, this particular file, if you get time, you can take it and read it and see what all commands it's trying to run and collect information. For example, if I put a search filter on ARP, so I get to know, it's trying to see the ARP messages. So if I put config, so I know that it will see this is the routing config. So it's a very useful set of commands which you can use for day-to-day troubleshooting, and then in single file it is collected, and whenever you have an opportunity, you can go and read this command and apply it and try to understand. So this is for folks who are interested in CLI, who like to go deeper troubleshooting and how to use the CLI to understand what the SD-WAN is doing. But for day-to-day use, as I mentioned to you, the UI is a great platform for you to understand what's going on in your network. Okay, now if you want to extract this particular file, you can SSH, and you can, if you have a Linux box on your LAN side network. So for example, if I type SCP, you can SCP to the box, and then give the file name. So if I want to know what file I gave when I fired the command, so you can put file list view, file list, and then go to log. Okay, to file view, you will see that sasi_br.txt. So this is a file I need to pull. I will give the file name, sasi_br.txt, and then I'll download it here. So immediately it will connect to the box, and then it will prompt me for my password, and then I have the file taken out from the SD-WAN box. So I can put cat. So I have the file with me here. So this is how you extract the logs, extract the files from the SD-WAN box. So SCP is a interface we have. If you don't have a LAN side device, a LAN side client to do SCP, you can SCP to the support ticket. There is a knowledge article on how you can do it, and the logs will be straight uploaded into your support ticket. Okay. So next one is the packet capture. Okay. So how do you do TCP dump on the box? So TCP dump is done from here, and then you have argument. You can put, I want to put 100 packets. I want to capture for 443, and all these parameters are explained in that admin guide. So if you like to understand what all options are available, what arguments can be passed, you can go and search for TCP dump, and the entire list is available there. I have included the link for admin guide in the slide deck. So when you have this, Charles shares the slide deck to you in the PDF, you can click on it and it will take you there. So here you need to put in the show, and then it will show you. So what I've done is I've just given a parameter -C100. So 100, it will capture 100 packets and then stop, so that I don't lose control of the box. Okay, and then you have show. You can save. You can put a file name. You can put pcap, src, okay, file src, pcap. Okay, so this will save the file offline, and then you can export it, as I mentioned to you, from a client machine, or upload it to the case, and the file can be later used for diagnosing the problem. Okay. So underscore pcap.pcap. Okay. So it immediately pulled out the file. So we have the file exported out of the box. So these are some basic troubleshooting for LAN-related issues or connectivity issues, which we can use the Prisma SD-WAN to find out. These are the fundamentals. So if you're familiar with these commands, you can do some level 1 troubleshooting and identify the problem. In addition to this, you have a VPN summary for Secure Fabric. You can see the VPNs are connected, they are true, active is true, the status is up, and then we also have a service link summary. Okay. But today we just want to show you how to interact with this particular device toolkit. Okay, right here, sorry about that. Summary and then all. So this is for standard VPN, this is for Secure Fabric VPN. So we just want to give you how to interact with the CLI toolkit and then fire these commands, basic commands. We have a complete list of commands available in the CLI guide, which you can use at your own pace to learn and interact with the box. But whatever I discussed and shown you and demonstrated to you today is for doing the basic checks on the SD-WAN box. Okay, so now the demo part, right? So we saw how to use the Strata Cloud Manager to perform the basic analysis of your run site, determine the circuit health, circuit capacity, the link quality metrics, the incident and alert, and then we saw the CLI, how you do the basic troubleshooting. We'll take a small break, and then whatever I discussed to you is further elaborated on the presentation. I'll quickly run through the presentation so that you can now correlate with what I've shown you. Or you can, when you have the recording available, you can go back and see how exactly the troubleshooting commands were fired on the CLI, and then also some of the information, admin-related information about how to create the users, how to assign the users to the toolkit. Let's say you have a on-site person who just needs access to one particular branch in Singapore, another person who needs access for a box in Sydney. So you can how to do that. We will look into it and run through the slide deck after a short break.